Got this piece of wood off the side of the road here in Florida yesterday, and I didn't know what it is, so I thought, well, I'll take it to the shop and I'll turn it on the lathe and see what I got. But it kind of got me wondering, you know, it's like when I was handling it, I realized that this thing has sort of a nice ring to it, and I thought, boy, that's kind of a indication of some kind. I wonder if that means it's a hard wood. And so I started looking at some of the other wood I have in the shop and to see how they sound. This is a mango. This is a bottle brush, kind of a thud. Of course, the bark is real spongy on this. This is a piece of mango. It's kind of dull. Here's some sea grape. Do you think sound tells you anything about the quality of wood? Well, let's check it out. I don't know. I think this is a real fibery wood. This may not be anything. Well, we'll give it a try. We'll chuck it up and try it. Oh my God, is that wet? It is throwing water at me. It's probably getting it on the camera too. I'm getting a shower here. I'm going to go ahead and cut the rough form of a lidded box, and I'll take it home and dry it out in the microwave, and we'll see what we got. I have the Nova chuck, so I've got this nice little tenon template here that I use to help me size. So I get it just a little over minimum, and that's just about a little over minimum right there. Almost smells like a fruit wood, but I don't think it is a fruit wood though. Look at this sawdust. It's real powdery and clumpy. It's so wet it like clumps together. I've never seen that before. So it's definitely something I have never worked with before. But I will say this, this gives off a real sweet smell. So I can't imagine what it could be, but it almost smells like the mango I was working on a while back. Lid is hollowed. I've left plenty of meat here so that it'll be a little more stable in the microwave. And I'll tell you what, this stuff is so wet, I think I'm going to put it in a baggie, take it home so it doesn't dry out on the way home before I have a chance to nuke it. I do 1 minute at 50% power, and I'll probably end up doing about a dozen of those. This might have been more trouble than it's worth. This wood feels very fibery, but it's nice and dry from microwaving there, and I've got it back out here today, and I'm going to try to get this hollowed out. It's a very plain looking wood, a little bit of color there coming through. So what I'm going for, a friend of mine, he brought me this little antique snuff box that he had about that big, and that thing had the nicest rings on the top of it. There was a little gold coin in the center of it, and I've been hoping to find some wood that has those growth rings. I don't think this is going to be it, but hey, we'll turn it down and see what we've got here. That's dried out. I was able to get the inside cleaned out pretty nicely, so it's behaving now that it's dry. Getting this returned to round here. Just truing up the face here, and I'm going to go ahead. You know, this could be sea grape. Using my screwdriver box scraper. Love this thing. Best free lathe tool I've ever had. Got a nice snug fit there. So I'll get the vast majority of it off with the cutoff tool, and then I'll switch over to a skew and try to smooth out the bottom here. As much as I can, and there it's gone. So I'm just sanding down through the grips here, and I'm going to switch to the bottom here, and I'll get that all sanded out. Got it pretty well sanded out. I think that top might be just a little bit heavy for this thing, so maybe I'll turn that down a little bit farther. I've got a few coins in the shop here, but these are all sort of silver tone here, V-nickels. I've got some buffalo nickels here. These are war penny steel. I think, you know, one of those might be nice on the top of this. I got a course of linseed oil on there. The box is, you know, it's a nice box. The wood is, it's very decent. It's got sort of a graininess to it, but you know, it's a nice hard wood. I think whatever it is, it's kind of a hard wood. I'm wanting to say maybe it's sea grape possibly, but I put the linseed oil on there, and I didn't really get a good distinct ring growth pattern out of it. So this top, I've got plenty of thickness here, and I think what I'm going to do is I'll go ahead and do an inset on this so that I have some kind of a decoration. I found a little piece of Padauk laying around in the shop. Thought that might give this thing some color. So here I'm just preparing the top for an inset using my screwdriver box scraper tool here. And this is a trial and error. This is the third or fourth time I'm trying to fit this, and now it fits real good. So time to glue it up. Just some Gorilla Glue here on there, a liberal amount. Pop it in there, and we'll bring the tailstock up to put some pressure on it and go do something else for about a half hour. Now we're back, and I'm feathering the Padauk and getting it to mold in with the rest of the top. This stuff is really fun to turn, but it's got an orange dust to it, and you definitely want to wear your dust mask while you're working with this stuff. This process of insetting is very much a trial and error. I probably went back and forth a half a dozen times before I snuck up on a good fit for this nickel. My process for doming nickels may result in a nickel that can rock a little, so I always sand them off a little just to make sure I've got a good flat surface around the circumference so that it sits flat in the inset, and I've got a good surface to glue. Well, this one's finished off camera. I did just a couple more coats of boiled linseed. It really didn't do much to bring out much in the way of character or the grain of this base wood here. But the Padauk insert, I think, really looks pretty, and I think this piece needed something to punch it up a little bit. So I don't know what this wood is. It's a decent hardwood. It turned okay. It's very thirsty on the end grain, and in fact, when I was sanding the Padauk, I got some of the powder into the end grain of the lighter wood, and I really had a lot of trouble getting it sanded out, so there's a little bit of a tint there. So I think next time I do a combination like this, I'll seal the end grain a little bit on the lighter wood so I don't get that orange powder down inside the grain. Fit is good on the top. Pretty happy with that. It's not quite a vacuum fit, but it is a friction fit, so I'm good with that. Well, thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to leave a like and a comment or two, and if you haven't decided to become a subscriber, I hope you'll consider doing that now. Push that button, and I'll try to get a video out every week or two, and I try very hard to keep them interesting. Have a great day.
This is